Here it is. So they got him. BuzzFeed got him. Are they the ones who applied? BuzzFeed people? Natalie Bettendorf and Jason Leopold. Look at that. Did they do this? Did they request this? Wow, good look. Tip of the hat to those two people. And I have to check the video, see if I've ripped them in the past, because they do work for BuzzFeed. But this is good work. All right, so here we go. Here it is. So here's like one of his. So there's been like 3,500 pages of emails that have been revealed. And Anthony Fauci's emails revealed the pressure that fell on one man. One man had to do the job he signed up to do since 1984. Wow. So here it is. There's the email. So I'll read. There's one of them. So there's a bunch of them, and we've been going through them here at the Jimmy Dore Show. And when I say we, I mean my producer, Mark, and Ed Cotter, our intern. So I'll just read some of this stuff. Dr. Michael Jacob, this is February 21st, 2020. He said, I'm an associate professor at Weill Cornell in private practice. Alexander Terahovsky is and a professor at Rockefeller University. He's a virologist. I'm an associate professor at Weill Cornell in private practice. Sounds repetitive. We've been following the coronavirus pandemic closely. A few days ago, became alarmed at the news that the Chinese government is sterilizing their money from the Hubei province. Are you effing F? We think that there is a possibility that the virus was released from the lab in Wuhan, the biotech area of China. Are you kidding me? This is from February 2020. We also think that the virus might be complexed with another organism, such as yeast or fungus, to make it more sticky. We would like to discuss this with you further. We feel that immediate action must be taken by the United States scientists to try and neutralize this threat. Anthony Fauci then forwards this to an NIH, National Institute of Health colleague, and he says, please handle. He takes this email from these guys saying what they just said, and Fauci forwards it to someone else and says, please handle. I have a feeling that wasn't completely handled. That's my feeling. Here,
it's like, look, if somebody lists their credentials twice in one paragraph, I can't take them seriously. You deal with this.
So here is the writer of this article, one of them. Anyway, he says, and in April 2020, and in an email from the NIH director, Francis Collins, to Fauci, the NIH is the National Institute of Health, to Fauci, under the subject line, conspiracy gains momentum. The email included a link to an article about Brett Baer saying on Fox News that COVID outbreak started in a Wuhan lab. Fauci's response is redacted. So in April 20th, he got an email from the NIH director, Francis Collins, saying, hey, Brett Baer is saying that this is released from a Wuhan lab. Fauci's response, completely redacted, so we don't know what his response is. Why did they get to do that on a FOIA? That seems like to defeat the purpose of a FOIA if they could just black out anything they want.
It kind of makes you wonder what he said, too.
What did he say?
Well, obviously, but because he might have just been like, what an asshole. Like we don't know. Like, we have no idea what he said.
Peter Daszak, president of the Echo Health Alliance, which sent $3.4 million in grant money from the National Institute of Health to the Wuhan lab between 2024 and 2019, thanked Dr. Fauci for backing the natural origin theory of the coronavirus. So I'm going to explain there's a lot in here, and I'm going to explain this to you. So there's a thing called gain of function research. So what they do is they invent new viruses so that they can invent ways to try to fight them, and that's supposed to make us feel safer. That's supposed to make us safer, and that's called gain of function. Now, a lot of people are against doing gain of function, creating viruses, because they can leak from labs and infect people. And so a lot of people were speculating that the gain of function research being done at the Wuhan lab is what caused this virus, and then it leaked, created it, and it leaked, and that it was funded by Fauci and the NIH. Now, they kept asking Fauci in congressional testimony, did the NIH fund gain of function research at the Wuhan lab? And he kept saying the NIH did not fund any of that. But he was parsing his words, because they did give money to the Eco Health Alliance. So the NIH gave money to this cutout, Eco Health Alliance, and then they sent the money to the Wuhan lab. And so it looks like it was fishy, sneaky, and they were trying to get around it, because the United States government stopped doing the sending money to the Wuhan, doing gain of function. And then was it 2017? It was 2014 they quit. And in 2017, this happened. So just so you know what this all means. So when it says Peter Daszak, the president of Eco Health Alliance, who was funding this gain of function research, which people are speculating led to the creation of the coronavirus and then the leak from the lab. So this guy's, he's nervous. This guy, he might be responsible for that's what it looks like, right? And so Dr. Fauci, he sent an email thanking Dr. Fauci for backing it didn't come from a lab leak theory. So this guy's thanking him. So, okay, you get that, right? Okay. I just want to say a personal thank you on behalf of our staff and collaborators for publicly standing up and stating that the scientific evidence supports a natural origin for COVID-19 from a bat to human spillover, not a lab release from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Daszak wrote on Fauci on April 18th, 2020. So that's suspicious, because now Fauci's saying the exact opposite. I'm not convinced it was. Now it might have been. Now it did. What? Hey, so I just wanted to show you. Here's Dr. Fauci.
There's a lot of cloudiness around the origins of COVID-19 still. So I wanted to ask, are you still confident that it developed naturally?
No, actually, I'm not convinced about that. I think that we should continue to investigate what went on in China until we find out, to the best of our ability, exactly what happened.
And some people are on me saying, how could you endorse this CIA theory? This is all garbage. Look at Max Blumenthal or Ben Norton's reporting to debunk that the Wuhan lab leaked this. You said, hey, I am not endorsing any theory of where the virus originated. The thing at this show is, we've got to get past this idea of you're not allowed to ask questions about where it came, A, and B, if you have a different theory, you're going to get canceled. That somehow I have to do a character analysis and a background check on everybody who has a theory about where the virus came from. I'm not fucking doing that. You get to ask questions. Everybody gets to offer a theory, but I guess science was supposed to figure this out anyway, but nobody can wait. So if we're not going to wait, everybody gets to have a theory. And I'm not endorsing any theory. Okay, I'm saying it is all possible, and that to quit shaming people who have a different theory than you. If you have a theory it came from a lab, don't shame that person. Show them different facts and say, let's have this debate. I didn't think it was supposed to be a debate in the first place. Like I keep saying, they keep saying that it's the science that's going to figure it out, so it doesn't matter what our opinion is. But everybody wants to shut you down if you have the wrong opinion. It's just garbage culture right now, okay? I get why. But guess what? China can defend itself. Pretty sure China can defend itself on this. Okay, so here we go. Here's Dr. Fauci. Now, he told people not to wear masks. Now, I'm going to show you that video. And at the beginning of this, he told people, so this is all from his emails, all right? So that's why we're showing you all this, because they got it. But at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, he told people not to wear masks and made you feel like you're an idiot if you thought that doesn't do anything. You shouldn't be wearing masks. He said that on 60 Minutes. And he was lying when he said that. And so and the reason why He said that, don't wear masks on 60 Minutes, was because he knew masks helped you. And he was afraid people would go out and buy all the masks. They wouldn't have enough masks to give to their hospital workers. So he lied. And so which is horrible. That's now nobody can ever trust what he says. And people say, well, what is Fauci supposed to do in that situation? He's supposed to tell you the truth about medical science. And he's supposed to say, hey, you should go make your own mask. And hey, you guys should tell your representatives to pressure the president to invoke the act that tells him he can command industry to make shit whenever he wants and needs it, because this is an emergency. That's the kind of stuff he should have been doing, not lying to people, endangering their health, because now they'll never trust you again.
Yeah, we were. Richard Wolff pointed out like a long time ago that around the time of the pandemic, we were one of the few countries or industrialized countries, at least, where we had, I believe it was 1 million less people working in social services and productive services than before the pandemic. So we totally could have like upped our production of masks or done whatever. And we were one of the few places where, we should have less services available and help available instead of more.
Here he is. He's being confronted by Mehdi Hassan on MSNBC.
Given you acknowledged in that clip in March 2020 that Asian countries were masking up at the time, saying we shouldn't mask up as well was a mistake, wasn't it? A huge mistake at the time, not just in hindsight.
No, I keep seeing that clip getting played over and over again. So if you could give me 15 seconds, I'll go right back at you with this. Okay, at the time, 3 things were going on. We were told very clearly at the coronavirus task force, including by the Surgeon General, who's a good person all the way, that there was a clear shortage of masks. And if we went around recommending masks, the healthcare providers who were putting themselves in harm's way every single day would not have enough.
So we lied. And we told people masks don't keep you safe. And so people then went out and lived their life without masks. Some people probably got the coronavirus because of that and died. And he's acting like, oh, you guys are being such assholes, bringing up when I lied about masks. All right, that's how you played a videotape of me lying. And he acts like it's cute somehow. Like there's some easy explanation. The explanation is he flat out lied. And if that isn't a criminal offense, boy, it ought to be. And now watch what he says. So that was the big reason. That's the real reason. Now he makes up a reason. Watch this.
Point number 1. Point number 2, there was no evidence at the time that masks outside of the setting of the hospital worked. There were no data to show that. Number 3.
What kind of bullshit is that? There was no data to show that masks only work in a hospital setting? What kind of garbage? Anyway, watch this.
Did not know that at least 50% of the infections were being spread asymptomatically, namely by people that had no symptoms. That's the reason why at that time.
Another lie. He just said at that time we didn't know that coronavirus was being spread asymptomatically. Well, now we have this email dump, and it turns out he did know. Well, here, let me read it to you. The virus this is Dr. Fauci, the virus has adapted itself very well to humans with considerable community transmission, certainly in China, now in other countries, South Korea. If it continues to spread via multiple generations of humans to human transmission, then we will not be able to avoid considerable amounts of infections and spread in the USA. The denominator is likely larger than we appreciate due to asymptomatic infections. What's the date on this email? February 25th, 2020. Dr. Fauci is saying they know of asymptomatic infections and that the denominator of the number of people getting it is much higher because of this. I said this almost a year ago. I'll say it again. Dr. Fauci's a pathological liar who is not to be trusted. You can't trust a goddamn thing this guy says. What Ron noticed was that he never mentions Medicare for all, which is the solution to this. Do you know a third of all the deaths from coronavirus are attributed to a lack of Medicare for all? He never brings it up. Never. That's the medical guy, never bringing up a medical fact. Sounds like he's on the take to big pharma and health insurance companies. That's what that sounds like. Why wouldn't you ever bring that up? And now here's another the third huge lie from him. The first lie was no mask. The second lie was herd immunity. He said 60 to 80% of the people would need to get 60 to 75% of the people would need to get it vaccinated for us to get it. And then he bumped that number up when the polls changed. And he knew it. So here and you think I'm lying? Here he is.
Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask.
He knows at this moment that this is not a mistake he's making, that he's lying. That's a big difference. He's on 60 Minutes. The reporter just said, a lot of people are listening. You got to be sure about this. What are you saying? And he gives on purpose false medical advice. That's got to be a crime. And he just admitted to Mehdi Hassan why he did it. He was afraid that medical people wouldn't have masks. And he said they didn't know about the asymptomatic transmission. Not true. With that, those emails prove that's not true. And I have a feeling that the only show in all of the United States to bring this up is going to be this show. I hope I'm wrong. But I think we're the only show that's bringing up the frickin' mask thing until, and obviously Mehdi Hassan's producer watches this show. Mehdi has me blocked, by the way, because Mehdi was wrong on Syria. And he called everybody Assad toadies for debunking the gas attack pro-war narrative. That's who Mehdi is. But here, the thing is about him. So there he is. That's the big lie. And then he lied twice about it. So anyway, here's some more from this email dump. You want to hear some more from the Dr. Fauci email dump? Dr. Fauci, we got a Freedom of Information request. We got it fulfilled. We got his 3,500 pages of emails. Dr. Anthony Fauci says Trump administration blocked him from appearing on the Rachel Maddow show. Did you know? Remember when he said that? This is from, what's the date now? It's not on there. Son of a gun. I've been wanting to here we go. Let's play it. So here he is. That's the headline. Fauci says Trump administration blocked him from appearing on the show.
Regular basis. I know that as we've been talking about, the country really trusts you in particular, but we've seen the sort of disappearance, the sort of muzzling of some of these other senior folks within the government. Do you think that we'll have more access to you, both the press and the public?
I'm positive of it. Test assess, Rachel. I've been wanting to come on your show for months and months. You've been asking me to come on your show for months and months, and it's just gotten blocked. Let's call it what it is. It just got blocked because they didn't like the way you handle things and they didn't want me on there. I mean, it was so clear when we sent it down. Why would you want to go on Rachel Maddow's show? Well, because I like her and she's really good. It doesn't make any difference. Don't do it. I don't think you're going to see that now. I think you're going to see a lot of transparency.
He didn't want to go on Rachel Maddow's show because he wanted to get the message out. He wanted to spread new information. Because I like her and she's really good. What? Well, because she has a big platform and I'd be able to reach a lot of people. And she has a unique audience. No, because I like her and she's good. That's not the right answer to that. I know it seems like I'm nitpicking, but the bigger point is this. He's saying that he was being blocked and wasn't allowed to speak. Well, guess what? Again, Jason Leopold, the writer of this article, says a recurring theme in Fauci's emails. Reporters and the public email him saying they heard he was muzzled by President Trump's and the White House. Fauci pushes back and says it's not untrue. This is a recurring theme of people saying, hey, Trump's muzzling you. And Fauci keeps writing back saying it's not true. He was never, ever silenced or censored. This is Fauci. I have been very explicit in stating publicly that I am not being muzzled or censored. I could not possibly be more public about this. Dr. Fauci, no censor, no muzzle, free to speak out. Well, then what in the F was all that about? What was that? Are you just giving some red meat to the lions? Is that what that was? Yeah. That's what it looks like. We've already established he's a pathological liar and will lie about the most serious of things in the world, things you should never lie about, medical advice. Lie, not get it wrong, not guess. Lie. Tell you the exact opposite. So here's the Washington Post. Look at that. That's from March 2020. Listen to science. Fauci for president. That's how sycophantic we are in this country because Fauci was seen as the counter to Trump. So you got to love Fauci and you got to hate Trump. How about there's no good guys here? How about they're both corrupt? How about that? How about they're both liars? On April 1st, the emails show that Dr. Fauci spoke by phone with Bill Gates about global vaccine effort. On April 1st, 2020, he spoke with Dr. Fauci, right? Is that what this is from April 2020 or 2021? It's 2020. The doctor said he was enthusiastic about moving forward on a collaborative and hopefully synergistic approach to COVID-19 involving federal health agencies and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Okay, all right, hang on. In an interview, Fauci said he has had a long-standing relationship with Bill Gates, whose foundation focuses on global vaccine access. He said that he and Bill Gates talk about every 2 weeks and that they have remained in touch about how to get coronavirus vaccines to the rest of the world. Really? You and Bill Gates are talking on the regular about how to get vaccines to the rest of the world because Bill Gates isn't that interested in getting vaccines to the rest of the world for free. Bill Gates says no to sharing the vaccine formulas with global poor to end the pandemic. That's who Bill Gates is. He didn't want to share it. You know what else Bill Gates did? He was talking with Oxford University about their vaccine. Oxford University surprised and pleased advocates in April by promising to donate the rights of its coronavirus vaccine to any drug maker. Sounds like the thing you would do during a pandemic and if you're a human being with a conscience and a soul. Guess what? A few weeks later, Oxford, urged on by Bill Gates Foundation, reversed its course. Bill Gates told Oxford, don't do that. Don't give away your vaccine. Charge. Get some cash on this. Bill Gates did that. And so Oxford followed Bill Gates' lead. Richest guy in the world. A lot of power. They want more of his money. It signed an exclusive, that's right, so Oxford University signed an exclusive vaccine deal with AstraZeneca that gave the pharmaceutical giant sole rights and no guarantee of low prices, with the less publicized potential for Oxford to eventually make millions from the deal. So that's the guy Fauci's loving it. Every couple they're talking on the phone, trying to help get vaccines to people? Really?
Well, Fauci shares those principles, too, with Bill Gates. I mean, when Fauci was pressed about, price ceilings for vaccines and making the formulas available, he kind of parrots that whole, big pharma right-wing thing of, it'll disincentivize people. I mean, Fauci does that kind of stuff, too. the same way he is with Medicare for all and not speaking out about how universal health care would make his job infinitely easier. I mean, he bows to the altar of capitalism very often.
Oh, yes. He's not speaking freely or telling the truth. Or this guy is an ideologue who will go along with the capitalists, I guess. And it appears that he was just making that. I mean, he's made up a lot of stuff. And the fact that nobody else is holding his feet to the fire. I mean, Mehdi Hassan, his producer, watches the show, so congrats on that. But that's about it. No one else has the balls, even on YouTube. Bunch of nutless wonders hosting YouTube shows. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yeah, you, and you too. Yes, you. Where's your Fauci fucking video? Where's your Syria video? Where's your Russiagate video? So there you go, Fauci. So we're going to find out more from the Fauci emails. That's just what we found today. When I say we, I mean Mark, my producer, and my intern, Connor. That's what they found. I would like to read them and find some things too, but I'm having headaches.
I clicked the document, and yeah, it is like 30. I think it was 32 something, like 3,200 something pages. And I just kind of scrolled through like 10 or 15 of them. And I mean, there wasn't anything interesting in the first 10 to 15 pages, at least not that I saw. But
you got to know how to put the puzzles together. You got to know what to look for. You got to know what to look for.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot to sift through in something like that. But I think it's kind of interesting, the whole where he's saying, I'm not muzzled. Because, you know, when I have conversations, you know, with people who are, you know, more in the Fauci can do no wrong and he shits rainbows and walks on water. And you kind of point out like, no, actually he's done a lot of not so great things. And you point out, you know, the timeline on masks, and you point out the, you know, the mealy mouth herd immunity stuff. And you point out the fact about the prices for vaccines and about Medicare for all and all these other things. You know, usually people would kind of come around and they'd be like, you know, you're right. You're making some good points. But he was so muzzled by Trump, and that's part of the problem. And, well, now that excuse has sailed via his own words.
Yeah, because it was a recurring theme. He didn't say it once. And, again, I'm going to tip of the hat to because we always like to rip the bad journos, so we got to give the props when they do something good. And this was good. So here it is. It's Natalie Bettendorf and Jason Leopold. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.